Oh, Singapore, is it?
Quickly flicking to see
This
whether
is Hajja, because that's my
What's
very
Brooke?
first house girl.
Oh,
Brooke, that Brooke. You got baby ones of her back here.
She's the one who
That's
taught me how to
a
cook
nice
Thai
photo.
food.
Baby ones of that there. Brooke.
Oh, I see.
Mm.
Very good.
It's cool. Isn't
Wonder
it?
where
I
she
love
is
that
now.
'cause
I've got
it's a
that
beautiful
frame.
She
one.
became the second wife of some local guy.
You might find her when you get over there.
Yeah, probably. And she's. What do you want to do, Tim?
He's waiting patiently.
Very dumb now.
Fiona.
No, I don't. I don't really have any particular stories, like I said. I just always remember how many hours and hours Mum used to spend in our gardens.
Well, I got up early because it was lovely and beautiful mornings, and I'd get up and go out,
We'd spot you
and
out
then
in the
hope
garden.
that you children would get up in time to go and
Cut
get
your
your
weeds.
own breakfast and get
Make
off
our
to
own
school.
lunches.
She was a slave driver, I can remember.
Yeah, but do think of what she
Hoeing
used to do.
spuds at
Really.
6 in the
She
morning. Cut that.
You have to
used to
cut it
run-
then. Stop it then.
She used to run how many acres?
Oh, we only
2
had 2 acres, but one was in pine trees.
Yeah, but you used to look after it all. You sewed all our clothes and you cut our hair and set it in butterflies. Crinkle cut,
But the other thing
corrugated
I
iron.
always remember too is you always had a transistor radio not far away.
Oh, did she?
Yep. She would say it'd be lovely out there in the garden, but she'd always have this squawky little transistor radio going. She didn't like silence.
I'm exactly the same.
Still
Oh,
doesn't like
Is that
silence.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't bear silence. Can't bear silence. I can't bear being in the house. It's got to be. So even if I'm cutting someone's hair, I've got to go and put the radio on. I can't
Even your
stand
neighbours
silence.
right along the road, about 3 or 4 houses in the country, said your radio's always too loud.
That'll be that girl with a lovely name like mine.
Yes.
No, but I didn't know that you didn't like silence.
I'm just
I
the
think-
opposite.
Oh, we
You
know.
like silence.
I hate the neighbours' noise.
Yeah.
I often say to Pete, imagine what Bruce and Rose house is
That
like to
about-
live in. It's so quiet.
25 radios
Yes.
around the house and never use any of them.
Well,
But no,
but
just-
that's not
just-
what we're supposed to be talking about.
Why?
You're cutting the chooks' heads off. You didn't get that on film
Oh, I
before.
didn't ever do that.
You
But
should
I
did,
used to
Mum.
love that hen house down the yard. We used to go down and feed them, make up the mash,
Yeah.
warm mash in the morning and
Mm.
give it out to them and feed the chooks.
Yeah.
Did you do that
So
too?
we weren't, I suppose I had to take my turn.
Yeah. I used to be filling the Coke bucket while you were doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
Cutting the wood.
Remember Rich?
But I do remember you killing the chooks, mum.
Remember Rich down
And
there
I
rolling
think-
his pine needles in toilet paper and smoking them down in
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
Took
that's
pine
why I
trees,
never
yeah.
smoked.
What?
I had one of those and never smoked again.
That's enough to put anybody up.
But what did you do with the chooks? Did you freeze them or something and then just...
We used
Yeah.
to eat them.
Yes.
Yeah, used to come and
Yes. But we used to buy day-old chicks and fatten them.
eat. Yes,
Coloured ones.
yes.
No. And
Used to get them. I remember you used to bring the little ones home.
yes.
The fine ones,
And then just-
like get them under the light, didn't you?
Yeah, I remember killing off. I don't remember killing off. Reg killed
No, Mum, this was before
40.
we met Reg.
40.
We used to think
We
it
didn't
was
have a father, and you
hilariously
used to do
funny.
everything that a mother and a father did.
No, but it wasn't killing chooks because I don't
Don't
think we
think
had chooks when Dad
Of course
until
we
Reg
did.
came.
No.
Well, I remember you putting the chook's head on there and hitting it with the axe, and then it flinging around and blood going for miles, and it used to go in under the hedge, didn't they? Yes.
That was Reg.
It's their final resting place.
But anyway, it doesn't matter who killed them as long as they got killed and we ate them. But the worst part was having to pluck them all and get them ready to put in the freezer.
Didn't you like doing that?
No, Reg used to split the thingamy's throats, the sheep.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes, he used to kill the sheep.
Yes.
That's why I never eat mutton, lamb, to this day, because he killed our pets.
Oh, did he?
And then one night he said, "This is drama
Andromeda.
you're eating."
Oh,
Andromeda.
Andromeda. What was the goat's name? We used to have a goat too.
Oh, Rich told us a story about the goat, but I can't remember it well enough to tell it.
Can't you? What was his name?
What
Did
did
it
he give
disappear?
it? Heaps and heaps of water. And
Oh, it
Blew
died.
up.
I do. It died,
Blew
and
up
it would
the-
all. I remember all. Oh, yeah, I did. It died. I do remember that. But what was its name? When you said that, I do remember the old
Really?
goat. We were all upset when the goat died.
he
Might
said
have been about it. It might have been Nancy.
No, it
It
wasn't.
must
It
have
wasn't a
been.
Nancy.
it must have been something that it ate, and then because it was
Comfrey,
thirsty,
probably.
and he gave it heaps and heaps of water. It kept on drinking and drinking until it.
Blew up.
And then we had to stick a knife into its tummy.
Oh.
I remember that.
Let the ear out.
No way.
the
I
other-
think we did.
I'm not in the story. They're the kids that did all these things
Well,
behind my
Abba,
back.
this is a story. Can I start my story now?
Yes.
That I would like to hear your version of it, because I think as kids we never ever knew what happened to our pussycat.
Oh.
And we looked and looked and looked for that pussycat.
So did I.
Never knew.
Wasn't
where
the
it
white
went.
one with the blue eyes?
Yes, and I don't know whether it was Pop or Red.
Pop. No. No.
Disposed of it
We
somewhere?
had been over to the coast and brought back from, you know,
Do you know the story?
yeah,
No.
and bought these 2 kittens and 1 cat, white,
Yes.
from.
Deaf.
One was deaf.
They were the white one.
Blue eyes. Was
Of
deaf.
blue eyes was deaf, and it never ate outside. You had to feed it under the electric stove,
That's
which had
right.
legs in those days,
Yes, I remember that.
and it used to always eat inside and then sleep in front of the Aga.
Mm.
Oh,
And
remember that.
and Pop and Nana were down staying, and Pop, I said to you children once on your way, go to school and see if there's anyone, children, that would like the cat, because the kittens disappeared. Well, as soon as we came home, I don't know what happened. They must have got outside or something, and something ate them in the night. But we always kept the cat. Can't even remember what we called it, and
You-
Pop used to get. He knew that I had asked you children to find a home for it, and you didn't. But it went missing, and it was a day or 2 after, and I was still worried about the cat. And Pop said one day, he said, "Well, you no need to look any further." And I said, "Why?" He says, "It's down in the pine trees. I buried it." And he killed it and buried it.
Oh, Pop.
And that was our beautiful Persian, white Persian with blue eyes. It was beautiful.
But you never told us, did you?
I never told you.
No.
No, I just said it just disappeared.
Mm.
And so that was a...
Don't feel bad. We did the same with the Labrador once. That it was no good, and we always told the kids that we're not country. And Pip said we always knew it. You were not country. You took it to the vet, didn't you? We know.
Ah.
Just a Labrador that was just going to always run away. And
Oh, yeah.
so yes, told off.
Anyway, that was the story of our cats, and I never
But
had
we
them
used to
all.
have a little ginger one called Bimbo, because I've got a photo of it in a little doll's cardigan, a little fair old doll's cardigan, in my old cane pram. And
Yes,
I've
I
had that photo for years, and it was called Bimbo.
Oh.
A wee ginger one. It was lying like this, with a wee cardigan on in the pram, and I had it all tucked in. I used to push it around the yard.
Did Pop not like us having pets?
I think it because I used to say, I wish this cat would get out from under
It
my
was
feet.
always by the Argo.
It was always
Yeah.
in front of the
I don't remember
Arga.
But the ginger one was probably, because it could hear, it would go further afield.
Oh yes, I don't
I
know
don't
anything
know. Do you
about
not
that.
remember Bimbo?
No.
None of you. Maybe it was an
I do.
No, it can't be an imagination. I had a photo
no,
of it.
I do remember.
Oh, I do.
Remember the name. But
I do remember that terrible story you told me of the neighbour's cat.
oh,
Whose
yes.
cat was it?
That was Mrs.
The lady.
Knowles.
Yeah.
Mrs.
No.
She
Knowles,
lost
and
her
she-
cat, and they all looked and looked
Oh,
and
we
looked and
searched
looked
for-
everywhere. And then was it 2 years later or something?
Oh, it was a long time later. We found its skeleton. But Reg had a roll of wire netting
Yeah.
in that back shed, behind the shed, and it would
Round
just roll up
behind
in the corner.
the sort of sleep out,
And the cat must
Yeah.
have got down in there and couldn't get out
fallen down into the roll of one netting.
and just died.
Oh.
So it was just
Terrible.
bones and fur left in there. Mum told me that years and years later.
Oh, yeah.
Well, since
We
this-
never told her either.
Oh no,
we
you
never
couldn't
told
tell
Mrs.
her.
Knowles. No.
when we Pete cut the vanilla tree down the other day, that was all broken in the snow. I said to him, he was up on the way up high, getting the top of the thing, and I said to him, "What's that thing hanging away up there?"
Oh God.
It's a beautiful little cat collar. I don't know where the cat is, but the collar was up the top of our vanilla tree.
Well, I suppose it stayed up there and starved to
Pete said,
death. and
"Oh,
got
I hope,
might have
little
got
food."
hung
I hope
up
it
on
didn't.
its
I hope it
collar.
didn't hang there until it. I might find it at the bottom in the bushes somewhere. But no, it had it was a cat collar with little nodules on it, little spikesy things sticking out of it. But it had elastic on it. So
I must admit, but I think the thing that I think of from time to time is the as kids we took it for granted, but I think at the time we really enjoyed it. But from my point of view, I think we had such great opportunities in the country. Once we moved to Geraldine, I think it was growing up time for me and for the rest of you. But the thing that I remember is most is the opportunity that I had, and probably because I enjoyed working. We didn't have a farm or anything like it ourselves, but there was plenty of small farms
All around us.
all around us. And we had most of the farms had kids about our own age, and we used to help with the
Feeding the calves.
calves and pigs around at Kerr's
Raising
place.
and bees.
Yeah, there was dairy milking. Later on, delivery in those days, we used to deliver the milk round on the back of an old Bedford. I don't know what model, an old Bedford truck, and around the downs on the
Dip the milk out of the can and put it
out
into
the can.
billies on the front gate.
hanging out at the gate. Can't imagine it ever happening today, but
Not allowed.
health regulations wouldn't allow it. But
We didn't get sick.
the times when we had snow, the sledges and the things down Sandy O'Neill's Hill, and
That was fabulous.
possum trapping with Bill
With
Voice
Bill,
and
that's right.
and all the native bush and the little gullies around within a mile or a mile and a half.
Building huts.
Used to love that sort of thing. The excursions through the bush every day when we went to,
That was awesome, go walking over school.
well, not every day, but every week we'd be through the bush from Bill's place up to home, and took the native bush for granted, which seems to be all ruined now because of the big snow, I think, in about the 80s. Flattened all the Geraldine bush, and once it started to regrow, we ended up, well, first of all, they ruined the main bush block by putting the
Reservoir.
local reservoir in the middle of it,
I remember.
bulldozing
But,
tracks right through
remember
it
getting
with
really
the
upset about
bulldozers.
that.
And then after that, we had all the creepers grew over all the bush, both up at Timona and all over the place, and the bush has been stifled, but it's all still there. But just recently again, we've been out to Geraldine in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and exactly the same thing's happened again with this more recent snow, and all the regenerated bush and trees are just flattened again, so goodness knows when the snow's melted. We haven't been back since. We run out, have we?
Keep talking. Just kidding.
Because all those big totara trees and things that were the mainstay
Yep.
of that real bush,
Yeah.
they were taken down, I think.
Yeah, some of the ones in the middle, yeah.
They were beautiful. It was beautiful, that bush.
But the whole of the Geraldine area has just gone ahead, and the areas that we used to round up cows on and
All been built.
chase the pigs through the native bush over at Turner's place across the road and
We
that
said
sort of
huts
thing,
and that and over at
it's all
Turners, didn't we?
been built on. A lot of it's roads, and now the problem is that all these people that have built over on Ribbonwood Road and around that area have
All the money.
planted all
people.
their own trees, and now nobody can see anything because they've all blocked each other's views with such huge trees all around their home.
Yeah.
A lot of them are
Hey, tell
trying to do replanting of, like Jenny and Geraldine.
Yep.
It used to be Geraldine Morrison.
Yes.
What's her married name? That
Stephen.
whole
Stephen.
area at the bottom of the dip.
Stephen.
Yeah.
They've tried to replant natives all down
Yeah.
through there.
Tell me, what was the track that Mum used to take us over? The back, swimming after school. Where did that used to? Where did we
Gapes
used to?
Valley,
Gapes Valley. Where did we used to swim?
Pleasant Valley.
Pleasant-
The old, remember
No,
the
over from the top of the downs. You
old
know.
up
Yeah.
the downs, and we used to go over the back track. Was it past
down-
Mr.
down
Turner's,
to
or was
Pleasant
it?
Valley, and
was it
over to
Pleasant-
Timona.
She used to take us swimming
I-
over there after school.
Yes,
though,
I did,
sometimes,
but then
didn't
I
you?
was
Cutting.
And the old Hillman Hunter.
Yeah, I had all your kids in it one day, and then I had to stop. Couldn't get up the hill, so you all had to get out and walk, and I went up by myself, and you had to walk
That's
up the
right.
hill because I
I
didn't
can
have
still
enough
see that
power
old
to-
track. Is it still? I wonder if it's still there.
We
Do
used
you
to
ever
ride
go over
those,
that
I
way?
did.
Is it still
Yeah,
there?
we've been up there several
It's probably
times
a road now,
recently,
though, is it?
and,
Better road,
yeah, we got stuck behind a
Yeah.
mob of sheep one day going up there. Did about 1.5 miles an hour all the way to the top. Well, the farmer wasn't even, he was on a 4-wheel farm bike, and didn't even realise we were behind him, but luckily we had an automatic.
I had to do
And,
that on the way over the
that's left.
Crown Range. With and I hadn't been driving terribly long, and I got behind sheep, and the Crown Range goes like that all the way. And every time you got to one of those sharp bends, I had no more gears to go down. I got to the last, and to climb up like that, and there was sheep all over the road. But it's a beautiful road now.
Yeah.